Hello everyone, this is potpotsie here, and today I have an update video to the Redstone mod. So, on the bottom left, you can even see right there, it's awesome, he put that there. This is the Redstone mod version 1.0 by Byte and a Half. So, this is the newest update he's provided to me. It's not quite available to the public, but I believe he's getting very close, because I think he's got almost everything done now that needs to be done before he's going to give it out to people. So, this update brings some very cool stuff, and oh look, it even says thanks potpotsie, and you know what, it actually said that last time, I just didn't notice until later. But yeah, so he's awesome. He's done a great job on this mod. Some other things have come up that he's been working on, so let me show you guys the mod itself. So we'll go inside, and we'll talk about some of the things that have changed in this version. So you'll notice I'm actually in creative mode now, and that was one thing that was not available, and actually in the last video about this, I showed you guys what the creative screen would look like, but I could not show you it live. So now you can see it is fully working. So he's changed this tab to be the Redstone tab, which is pretty bloody awesome, honestly. You've got the Redstone repeaters, Redstone torches, buttons, these little pressure plates. You've got everything right here. And what he's done is he's moved things down to other tabs and compiled things together, so you can see all this stuff here, all the blocks. So all the blocks are still available. He just simply took this tab and made it his own to keep the Redstone stuff a bit more organized. And honestly, when it comes to my own, you know, when I'm playing around at engineering, so to speak, on the Redstone stuff, it makes it so much better to put it all in one tab rather than forcing us to run around and play tag with these items. So the cool thing is here, there's a few things that I probably should show you first, actually. So these buttons. Now the buttons, he wanted me to tell you, the buttons obviously look like a stone block, but if I push that, it says stone buttons. These are stone blocks, okay? Not to confuse you, I've got both on the hotbar right now, but this one is a stone button. When you actually place it, you'll see it looks rather normal, you know, it looks like a button. It looks like a button would look. You can see it gives power when I press it, just like it's supposed to. It just simply looks weird right now when you're holding it, but as soon as you've placed it in the world, it looks just like a button. So, not to worry, he's working on that right now. It'll be fixed very soon. The next thing is the Redstone repeaters were a big deal, and they were not working in the prior version. So I'll actually show you guys right now the functionality of these. So I've got the repeater. You can toggle it, you know, back and forth to change the speed in which it repeats the signal. And I actually have a video where I better explain all this kind of stuff, but I will go a little bit into depth about some of these things. So if you have the connection here, it will go and repeat forever, and it will continue to repeat. And when the signal begins to die, let's go down a bit till it gets a little bit darker. You can see it's getting much and much darker. You can place another repeater, and the repeater will place based on where you are. It will place based on where you are facing. So if I'm facing that way, of course it goes that way. If I face this way, you know, etc. So you just repeat the signal again, and it becomes strong once again. So that's kind of what those are for. But there's several things you can do with them as well. For example, watch the torch. So you saw how fast, did you see how fast the signal moves right there? It's pretty much instant, right? Very fast. But if I take this down 3 notches or 2 notches, you'll see it stops for a second. The point is we can stop and we can control the speed in which the signal goes. So I've got 2 cannons here that I built, and I'm gonna show you guys. We've got a cool lime green one, and then this one right here. So if you were to take TNT, we can launch it much better with access to these repeaters. So now I'll go back here, and I'll hit that button, and you'll see this thing goes flying, you know, it can go way into the air, and boom, it actually blasts in the air. So that's with the help of the repeaters. So what happens here, I'll just explain the cannon real quick to those of you who don't understand this stuff. Basically, what happens is the water nerfs the explosion, which is why these bombs don't blow up the entire cannon. And what happens is you hit the button, this wire on this side actually sets off these bombs, right? So they explode, but they don't explode and hurt anything because there's water nerfing them. Then these repeaters actually slow the signal down to the last bomb, so that by the time these bombs have exploded, this one's kind of starting, so I'll go ahead and hit it and let you watch. Just watch. All these bombs will set off, but this last one will not quite yet because these repeaters stall it. So you can see, now it starts. So that way, those bombs explode, send that one, and that one blows up in the air. So basically, if you toggle these things, you can change the distance at which a bomb explodes. If we take them all down to the second notch instead of that one, you will see how that changes things. That makes the connection faster, which means that the bomb will explode sooner because it will set off sooner. So I'll show you guys this. So you'll see, I don't know if we can really calibrate how far it's going because, you know, but you kind of get the idea, though. The less repeating there is... Oh, in fact, I can make it very obvious to you. If I don't slow them down at all, if I just turn it to default and we blow it up, you'll see what happens. The bombs will actually... They'll all set off at almost the same time. So now, that bomb's barely going to be in the air maybe by the time it blows up. So it almost destroyed the cannon, you know? And if you had no repeaters, of course, if you just had these be redstones, then, of course, this thing, it's not going to be good. It should just actually explode the cannon. I'm pretty sure it'll break it. But I guess we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it gives it nearly enough time. Yeah. So it blows up the cannon. So, anyway, that's just one purpose, of course, with redstone repeaters. There's infinite things you could actually do with them. So, you've obviously got pressure plates here. They open doors. They send off signals. You can turn on redstone lamps. Lamps are awesome. And I actually was working on... I know, you guys don't even waste your time putting a comment about how ugly these are. I know, I spent forever trying to make demo houses that were not disgusting. But they are. They are very ugly, and I spent forever trying to build them. And so I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to show you guys them. So if I walk into this house, walk in, there we go. So this is a very small demo house. And by a demo, I don't mean demolition. I just mean, you know, like, I'm going to present something here. So this lever actually controls the lights. So I can turn them off and on. And I know it's inverted here. It's not on the other one. I was going to show you more in depth how you would do it. But if you have it off, you know, lights go off, lights go on, just like a real classic light switch. This allows you to get rid of torches, so ugly, you know? Having torches in your house is the worst thing ever made in history, so I know we all hate that. So that's one purpose for those redstone lamps, of course. Now, if you were to go over here, yes, I know, this house is just as bad, if not worse. It's not finished, though. This one, I purposely left like this, so I could show you some of the exposed mechanics, I guess, to how this is actually working. So, I'll go in the house, and you'll see both light switches are down, right? So if I turn one on, the lights go on. And if I turn this one on, it will stay on. So basically, what I've done is I've used some of the different logic gates you can use in Minecraft. And I've made it so that this will only turn on as long as one is on. So it doesn't matter if they're both on, whatever. So that's kind of nice that way. And I'll go ahead and show you guys behind the block. So basically, I've inverted it by placing a torch here to make sure that the light switch has to be the other way. So basically what I mean is if that light switch is up, the lever is pointed up, you can see that there's power, right? But if that redstone torch was not there and it was like this, there would be no power. And if it was down, down, then there would be power. So it's inverted. And we don't want the lights to go on when the light switch is down, because that's just weird. I mean, that's not really how a light switch would be, you know? It would be up to be on. So that's why I placed those torches there. Then this redstone stuff climbs up to here, up to the ceiling. Now, this would be an attic area, and if I was to complete the house, of course, it might be a second floor. We could do this differently. This is a very messy way to do it. Of course, there's many methods in which you could condense this and make it take much less space. But I wanted to make it, you know, just fast, and I wanted to show you guys kind of how it would work. So you can kind of see up here, the wires both meet, both light switches meet here, which is why if any one of them is on, all of these are powered on. That was the point. I did that on purpose. But of course, there's many different logic gates you could use for this, and you could do your own thing depending on how you want your light switches to work. And another thing also, if you were to have a bedroom, for example, this is not really a bedroom, but you know, if you had a bedroom, kind of like this, you had your bed over here, you know, just kind of chilling there, and you got this thing here. You could actually have yourself a redstone lamp, and you could even place it on the ground. I mean, it really would be up to you. But then you could place a torch, a lever, and you could turn on the lamp like this and turn it off. So as long as the lever is on, that thing will be on just like you'd like. Or if you want to place the thing on the side, it's entirely up to you, of course. But a lot of times people like to use these little lamp type methods, you know, and it's kind of nice to have by the bed, of course. Like I said, I think it's way nicer looking to have this kind of stuff, and it's more fun anyway than these torches. I mean, I hate having these things like this, you know, all over in your houses. Like, it looks disgusting. Plus, your house should burn down. But anyway, it doesn't burn though. That's the good thing. But yeah, and you go here, and you'll see all these different things. So minecarts we haven't really touched on much, but you know, the powered rails, that all has to do with the same thing. But as far as Minecraft Pocket Edition is concerned, these things are actually lit by default. I don't know if he turned it off or if they are on right now. It's hard to tell. Maybe not. Maybe he changed it. Maybe you have to use redstone for this stuff now. That would make sense. I think he might have disabled that. So anyway, that's all the new stuff for the redstone right now. He's working on pistons currently, and like I said, I believe the mod will be out very soon to the public. That's entirely up to him. I don't know exactly what his time frame goal is right now, but you can go check out his Twitter page. Keep up to date there at Bite1/2 on Twitter. I'll put his link in the description so you can check that out. Keep yourself up to date on this redstone mod, and also to answer the question of whether or not it will be on iOS and Android. As far as what he said goes, it will be available on both iOS and Android. I'm actually showing you on Android, but I believe it is going to be ported in some form or another to the iOS platform, so everyone will have access to it eventually. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Definitely go check out his Twitter page to keep up to date on this redstone stuff, and I will see you guys in our next video.